Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Logan Martin, and today I'm showing you guys my presentation on the causes and treatments for colorblindness. First things first, colorblindness stands as one of the most well-known ocular diseases in humanity's collective consciousness. But what exactly causes it, and how can we solve the problem of colorblindness? To help make this a bit easier to explain to you guys, I've divided this presentation into three main steps, which I'm calling the three-step plan. Step 1 is to understand the problem. Step 2 is to identify it, and step 3 is to treat. Starting with step 1, understanding the problem. The first thing you gotta think about when you're understanding a problem is research. When researching information, one must always think about the validity of the source. Just like when writing a paper for school, more reputable sources like government websites or a trustworthy medical institute or journal are suggested. The next thing to understand about colorblindness is the three main types. Colorblindness, as I've said, can usually be divided into three main types. These are red-green colorblindness, which can be divided into the main subcategories deuteranomaly, is that how I pronounce that? Which makes green look like red, and protanomaly, which makes red and green less bright. The second main type of colorblindness is blue-yellow, which can be divided into the main subcategories tridanomaly, which makes blue, green, yellow, and red hard to distinguish, and tritanopia, which makes blue, yellow, red, purple, and green indistinguishable. The third and final main type of colorblindness is monochromacy, which means you cannot see color at all. Everything's going to be in a grayscale. The next thing to understand about colorblindness is the causes. Colorblindness has a multitude of causes, but some of the most common are genetic. Genetic colorblindness happens when the X chromosome for colorblindness is passed down to children. Both chromosomes are required for females, while only one X chromosome is required for males. The other way colorblindness can be caused is medical. Colorblindness is not always genetic. Some diseases and injuries can cause it, such as glaucoma, macular degeneration, Alzheimer's, and multiple sclerosis. The next and final thing to think about when understanding the problem of colorblindness is the symptoms. While relatively self-explanatory, colorblindness doesn't always just make colors indistinguishable. Possible symptoms can include changes in color brightness or vividity, changes in shading / minute color differences, or the inability to see some colors. The next part of our three-step plan is diagnosing the problem. Now, you would think diagnosing colorblindness would be a simple enough task, but there are multiple methods of doing so, each with their own benefits over the others, each of which we'll get a slide after this. The first test to think about is the color plate test. Perhaps the most common form of colorblind testing, the color plate test shows us if the patient can distinguish some colors from others. One of the most common forms of this test is the Ishihara test for red-green color deficiency, first published in 1917. The next test type to think about is the anomaliscope test. One of the more specific forms of colorblind testing, the anomaliscope test helps determine how well a patient can distinguish different levels of brightness. This test was invented by Willibald A. Nagel and was first named in 1907. The third and final test to think about, or at least of the major ones, is the hue test. This is the last test form mentioned in today's presentation, in which a patient will be given blocks in different color shades and will arrange them in rainbow order, red to orange to yellow to green, etc. The third and final step of our three-step solution, or three-step program, depending on how you want to think about it, is treating the problem. The final step dealing with colorblindness is treatment. Our colorblindness has been known for hundreds of years. Treatment options are still limited, although two of the more modern ones will be listed in the below slides. Perhaps one of the simplest treatments / accommodations for colorblindness is the use of visual aids. With the use of a cell phone or some other electronic device like many people have nowadays, one can use programs and technology to help you distinguish the difference between colors. The other major type is specialized lenses. Easily the most high-tech option for the treatment of colorblindness is that of specialty contact lenses and glasses. Although usually expensive, these specialty lenses can make it much easier for the colorblind to distinguish colors. While colorblindness is a widespread issue throughout the world, we are constantly making new breakthroughs to help make ends to the colorblindness epidemic. Hopefully, in the next tens of years, we can finally invent a commonly available solution or treatment for colorblindness. But for now, We must do what we can to help make the lives of the colorblind easier as eye care professionals.